International movie star Maggie Q stars as a trained assassin in her new film, The Protege.
And recently, movie critic Chuck Kaplinski sat down with her to talk about the ins and outs of making this high-energy action film.
Maggie Q talking about The Protege. You know, there are a lot of action films out there.
100%.
And I would imagine, I'm sure you see the scripts for most all of them.
Yeah, yes.
What was it about this one that made you say, you know, this is kind of unique. I wanna devote my time to this one.
I mean, it was the script. It was set apart from anything that I had read, to be honest, you know. And, you know, I mean, it's not often that you see in this genre that the script is, first of all, well done, well executed, that the characters are developed, that they all have their own arcs, they have great relationship to one another. I mean, this is like you really fully realized, you know, and you read a script like this and you go, okay, and then obviously the filmmaker, who is a legend, but also, you know, that doesn't mean you're going to have the same vision for the film you're going to make. So it wasn't really until we got on the phone and started to talk about exactly that, the film we wanted to make, and that we were on the same page, that I really thought, oh, this is something that I'm going to do and enjoy doing. Yeah.
Well, and your character, Anna, I mean, the thing that I thought was intriguing was that she's dealing with so much trauma. And, you know, you give a very subdued but, you know, powerful performance with that. I mean, I'm sure that was an angle that must have appealed to you.
Oh, definitely. You know, I mean, how do we, with that much trauma, compartmentalize so that we can move in the world? And that's really her, right? I mean, she left it all behind and really wanted to start over and really have no part of her past. And, you know, what happens when we run away from things is we run into them, right?
That's great.
You can do about it, yeah.
I've always been fascinated by the choreography of action scenes. And you've got a bunch of great ones here. And of course, the one with Michael Keaton, which is really foreplay more than anything.
Yeah, it really is.
How long does it take to put something like that together? I mean, it has to be an extensive thing.
It does. It is. I think a more extensive process than people actually think, because you have your coordinators and your choreographers who come in and, you know, they have their idea. Director has his idea. I have my idea, you know, of how we want this to play out. And so, first of all those ideas have to come together, and they have to marry perfectly. And then once you like what you're seeing, then you have to figure out if the practical location can really handle what it is that you want to do, and whether it can or can't, it's got to be changed based on that, and all of it. And then once it's like confirmed, then you have to learn it.
Right.
And then after learning it, you have to do it well, which is a totally different thing from learning it. You can learn anything and not do it well. So it's a process from that point until the product that you get.
Now, I read that you had spinal surgery 2.5 months before this film.
Yes.
You decided to do the film.
Yes.
I'm thinking these are the sorts of decisions that drive your parents crazy.
Oh, yeah, completely.
Yeah.
And everyone who loves you, just cuckoo, yeah.
I mean, that had to give you pause. I mean, were there moments where you found yourself maybe holding back when you used to, you know, just go
No,
forward,
I had the opposite problem.
Okay.
I find myself not holding back when I should. And I found myself with very nervous stuntmen and coordinators going, we have to preserve you for the entirety of the film, which, you know, I'm super hyper focused on what's in front of me, and I want to do it very well. And everyone else is just like holding their breath while I'm doing these scenes. And so they were really the ones who were more worried than I was, because I tried not to live in a place where I was so worried that I was manifesting something, you know, bad to come my way. And so I had enough nervous people around me where they were protecting me in a way where they were almost saving me from myself.
Okay. Are you an adrenaline junkie?
I think so. When I get into that mode, I think that you do it and you just want to do it well. Like, you really feel like my audience deserves this.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, I read that there was a stunt that you were a little nervous about.
Yes, there was one in this movie. I mean, they were all tough, but there was one that was just like, I mean, the jump was so high that I mean, from the ground, it looks high, and you're like, okay, but that's something I can handle.
Sure.
And then from when you go up and you're at the top, you're like, oh, that looked very, very different from the ground. And it was just one of those things that never got easier.
Sure.
You know, because you do things over and over in a fight or whatever, and it does get a bit easier, you know, to a degree. You're like, oh, okay, now I'm in the groove. I'm feeling good. There was never a moment where I was in the groove and felt good about that bigger stunt, because it was just, I think it's just everything in your cells tells you not to do it.
But you did it.
But so you have to fight your cellular makeup. But I did it anyway, so that's me.
So how many rescue dogs do you have right now at home?
3.
3.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about your work with PETA?
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. There's so many great groups that I work with in the animal rights world, and it's been really fun, and it's been such an evolution because when I was started in animal rights in Asia, like it just didn't exist. Like no one over there was doing anything, and giving them a voice. And then when I got back to the States, I mean, obviously in the West it's a little different. There's more awareness for this kind of stuff, and it was just, I mean, it came so now. I was a natural activist as a kid. I would advocate for any animal or other kid that was being hurt or abused, or it was just something that I felt. I don't like injustice. It really bothers me, and I feel like people and animals should be treated better. So I mean, that's where I come from. I think I just came into the world like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maggie Q, thank you for your time.
Thank you so
and
much.
Please be careful.
I know.
Be careful.
Yeah, I know. That's actually a good reminder for someone like me. Truly. Thank you so much. Thanks
you.
for the in-person. It's been fun.